Hey, it's Jacq. I have a candle going. I don't know if you can see it over there in the corner. I'm just chilling here, painting my face, talking about my favorite subject, art therapy. So, if you guys want to hang out with me, paint your face too, let's do it. So, the materials that you'll need are like face paint or makeup. You can even use makeup that you already have. It doesn't have to be like anything special. I think just like the act of expressing things like fluidly on your face is like the therapeutic aspect of it. I just also really like fun colors. So I got these little guys from Ulta. They were on sale, so that's why I got them. And they also looked like fun paints, but they're just like cream eyeshadows. And I have them in pink, blue, and orange. You also need maybe like a sponge or something to blend. While I'm painting my face, I'm gonna be thinking about different people that influenced me, people that I find inspiring, people that I know in real life, because I feel like we tend to like glorify celebrities or people we see on social media when really there are people in our day-to-day lives that have a lot of similar traits that we could embody or support. But yeah, so I'm going to be thinking about different people that have inspired me in my life and the traits that they have that I'm particularly inspired by, and ways that I even subconsciously have like adopted those traits. Let's get to it. And while I do this, I'll tell you guys about art therapy. Okay, so you guys maybe have heard of art therapy before, but the term that really encompasses that like realm a lot more broadly would be expressive arts therapies. So if you want to research more later, you can Google that. And that encompasses all of the genres within that realm. Also, I'm going to use this blender, but I just had this idea because I've seen people use this tiny little puffs in their makeup on their finger. I'm going to cut a hole in this and see if I can put it on my finger. Oh my god, this is working. I did it! Oh my god. Okay, wait. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. Expressive arts therapies is like the umbrella term that encompasses like everything in that sort of genre. So art therapy, what that means whenever somebody is talking about art therapy or says they're an art therapist, that is when someone who is a therapist, like first and foremost, has some type of counseling certification or degree in counseling, utilizes art techniques or art mediums in a therapy setting. So the key term to art therapy is the therapy aspect of it. Whenever you call something therapy, that word holds a lot of weight. And so it's really important to know what you're talking about or what you're in for when you're signing up for something like that. Anything that's therapy is used to diagnose or treat specific mental conditions or symptoms related to mental conditions. And so it absolutely has to be facilitated by somebody who has those qualifications of a therapist. That means that they have a counseling license and they also have additional training in art therapy techniques specifically. So they're using art as a medium in their therapy model. So if you call something therapy, no matter what you're talking about, this is why it's really important. Not only do you legally have to have those qualifications of a therapist to call it therapy, but whenever you call something therapy, you are going to attract vulnerable people who are looking for therapy from a therapist. And when you have access to those people, you have a responsibility to the level of care that you're going to provide them. So anyway, that's art therapy. I don't really know what I'm doing with my face. I was going for like a watercolor look. So let me see what I can do about that. Let me see. But oh my god, this is so much fun. Anyway. Oh, I'm having so much fun. Okay. What was I talking about? So what I do is not art therapy. What I do is therapeutic arts facilitation. The key difference between therapeutic arts facilitation and art therapy is that word therapeutic. Even though therapeutic as a word sounds like it has therapy in it, those are two very different things. Something being therapeutic just means that it has a positive impact on mental well-being, on nervous system well-being, not in a sense of helping with any conditions or disorders or symptoms related to those conditions or disorders. So the similarities between art therapy and therapeutic arts facilitation is that it's really a focus on the process, as you can see here. It is not about the finished product, although the finished product is a part of it. I mean, what I look like matters, right? I'm not doing this for nothing. The finished product matters, but it's really about the process and about how like making art makes you feel. So both a therapeutic arts facilitator and an art therapist are facilitating activities, but you're still facilitating an experience for like somebody else. So I'm like designing activities with a certain intention and impact in mind. So there's two more categories. The next one would be therapeutic artistry. So a therapeutic artist, like the best term that I can think of would be like, have you ever been to like those sound healing places or like those sound baths where they have somebody playing like an instrument or a few instruments and there are people like getting into a meditative state, and there's like usually some like spiritual connotations to it, but what I'm getting at is that would be a real world example of a therapeutic artist. What that person is doing is making music that has a therapeutic effect on the people who are listening. So that's different from therapeutic arts facilitation because people aren't like in the crowd making music themselves. They just sit back and listen and it has a therapeutic effect. And the person who is making the music or making the art, it doesn't have to be music, I'm just using that as an example, but the person like making the music or making the art during the process doesn't necessarily have to care about the therapeutic impact of the process of making it. What really matters is the impact. So like another example, I'll use myself as an example. So like another example would be the macrame that I make, because the finished product is what matters. I make these intentionally with bright colors, with interesting textures, and like so that it's like stimulating in your environment, which can to boost dopamine. It really does have like an impact on specifically neurodivergent people, what their environment is like. So this being in my space is what has the therapeutic impact. So it's different than the arts activities that I'm like facilitating. For those, the finished piece doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel in the process of making art and what like you uncover about yourself. Sometimes even just like the act of making something can help tune into like parts of yourself that you wouldn't otherwise like notice or have access to. I feel like I'm getting this in my hair. The last topic that I want to talk about is art education. So art education is different from art classes or learning about art in school, although that can be an aspect of it. Art education is a realm in art therapy because of its impact, and it's about using art in the classroom. So like, have you ever had a teacher be like, can you draw a diagram of like the layers of the earth? That would be art education. You're using art, which would be drawing the diagram, to assist in education. And using art in the classroom has been shown to have an impact in this realm in a couple of different ways. Since like the creation of the term autism, it's been noted that autistic people have a unique relationship with art, and that's because we're more visual thinkers. So getting a little vulnerable, I legit never learned my times tables. I just had ways of like, I would just like physically count, literally, and I would just have ways of getting around it. What does yellow and blue make? Oh my God, green. And so I was telling my fiance the other day, I was macrameing something, and I was like, yeah, I have to like cut all these string, and then I have to count all of them and make sure that final number is a denomination of 5 and a denomination of 6 because of the patterns that I'm doing. And when I was talking about it, I realized that's your times tables. Like, it's in there somewhere. It's just the way that school structures questions and structures learning doesn't work with neurodivergent brains really well. And so art education, using art in the classroom, has a significant impact on neurodivergent people and their ways of processing and learning things. That's art education. I can't really think of any other categories right now. Yeah, so I have a bachelor's in psychology with a minor in expressive arts therapies, which is that umbrella term. And I was really interested in this path because I, as a kid, I've been so into crafting and just like making things and different mediums of artistry. And it didn't even occur to me until I was like in my 20s that there are some people who have never done a single craft in their life. And that got me thinking about how impactful crafting really is. It really is so therapeutic. I also went to school like later in life. I did not know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to really apply myself to for a long period of time until I was 24. So that's when I started getting my bachelor's, and I graduated at 31, and it feels really validating to me because that like program didn't even exist at my school before, so I wouldn't have been able to take it before. So I don't know. I'm a spiritual person, so I kind of feel like maybe it was meant to be that I go to school later in life so that I would have gone this route. Also, I was just thinking, if I choose the path that seems to be, and it's not what I really want to do, and I'm forcing myself to do it, and I get through all the school, and I work really hard, and something happens and it doesn't pay off, it would be like I wasted all of that. Whether you choose something that you want to do or you don't want to do, there's risk of it working out or not. So you might as well pick something that you actually enjoy. And the other thing is, no matter what career that you pick, it takes a lot of time and energy and stamina. Like, nothing happens overnight. It takes a while to build something, like from the ground up, to build all the skills that you need to fulfill that role. And if it's something that you really enjoy doing along the process, it can be so much easier to motivate yourself. Like, for me, every step of it is enjoyable for me. So like, whether it pays off or not, I feel like I've benefited in some way. I don't know where I'm getting at. I just went on a rant. Anyway, that's the video. And again, I put in the description my link tree for my social media if you guys want to connect with me and show me what you guys made. What else? Oh, I also put the sources for everything. So if you want to read the full articles, and rate my look. Go ahead and rate my look from 1 to 10. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, a great weekend. Keep your inner child alive. Love you. Bye.